topic is parameters, indicators of development. Okay, so in reduced syllabus, in this chapter parameters or indicators of development, only few parts are required to study, and the other we have to leave that portion. So before starting the parameters or indicators of development, we have to understand the concept of development. Development or the term economic development. Economic development. So here the word economic development or development is a multi-dimensional phenomenon in which it involves various changes. Okay. If we see the difference of economic growth and economic development, to some extent the people are getting confused. They consider the definition of economic growth as economic development, but that is not correct. I will differentiate between economic growth and economic development before starting this concept. So economic growth, okay, economic growth, it refers to increase in a real per capita income for long period of time. So that's called economic growth. Okay, so economic growth refers to the real increase in per capita income for a long period of time. When the income of a country, when the national income, GDP, GNP increases for a long period of time, then we can consider this one as economic growth. But in the case of economic development, no doubt there will be increase in real per capita income for a long period of time, along with decrease in poverty, along with fall in poverty, unemployment, literacy rate should be improved, increase. Okay, population, the rate of growth of population should be less. The people's attitude should change. Literacy rate should increase. So various changes should take place, then only that concept can be considered as economic development. So we can define economic development as increase in real per capita income for a long period of time, along with fall in poverty, unemployment, increase in literacy, etc. So not only that, economic development includes whole gamut of changes, and if the changes takes place in the terms of attitude of the people, behavior, socially, culturally, economically, if all the changes takes place, then only we can consider as an economic development. So we have mentioned that economic development is multi-dimensional. We can call it as a multi-dimensional phenomena in which there is an increase in per capita income for a long period of time. That is true. Along with that, literacy rate should improve. The people should shift from agricultural system to some other sectors. We can say that manufacturing sector and industrial sector. Similarly, the people attitude should change, literacy rate should improve, rate of growth of population should decrease, unemployment should be less, poverty should decrease, and if the changes takes place from all the aspects in an economy or in a country, then we call it as a economic development. Now, the next thing we need to know that several indicators are there to measure the economic development of a country, that is classified in two categories. One is called income based. Income based, and other one is based on the quality of life. The second one is quality of life. Once again, recent year there are several methods or measures or indicators to measure the economic development. Okay, so among them it is classified into categories. One is called income based and the other one is quality of life based. Through these two measures we can measure the indicator of economic development. So here in the case of income based measure we use per capita income index. Per capita income index. And in the terms of this quality of life we use PQLI. Different methods are there. One is called PQLI, physical quality life index. Okay, physical quality life index, and other one is HDI, and the basic needs, and the third one is basic needs index. So there are three types of index that measures the quality of life, and through that measures we can measure the economic development taking place in the country. So among these, only this HDI we have to study, and from this income based we have per capita income index we have to study. So I will start with the first one, per capita income index. Okay, so the first one we have per capita income index. So here you have to understand what is per capita, how it is calculated, and on what basis we can calculate this per capita income. So per capita income means increase in an average income of an individual per year, that is per capita income. Or here we can measure the economic development. According to this index we measure the economic development by looking at the expansion or increase of GDP or GNP. When the income of a country, when the national income, GDP or GNP increases, then we can see that the economic activities will also increase at the faster rate. And when economic activities increases, obviously the income of a country will increase. And what this per capita income index says that when there is an expansion of economic activities, when there is expansion of GDP or GNP, then the economic ability to expand, to grow at a faster rate, or it will grow at the faster rate. So the rate of expansion of economy will increase, and that measures the per capita income index. So here traditional, this is a per capita income index is a traditional method of measuring or indicating the development. Okay, so here what we can see that first you have to know that per capita income formula. How this per capita income is calculated? Per capita income is calculated by a national income divided by total population. So this is the formula of national income. So this national income or GNP, okay, gross national product or national income. When the national income of a country increases, it implies the economic activities in a country is increasing. And if economic activities increases, the individual's income will increase, and if individual income increases, that will improve their standard of living. And if its standard of living improves, means we can say that the country is in the path of economic development. So here this is a traditional methods. Okay, this per capita income index is a traditional and the old methods of measuring the welfare. Okay, measuring the welfare or economic development of a country. So this is the way to calculate the per capita income. Now here you have to understand there are certain limitations. Okay, certain limitations are there in the per capita income index. So we will discuss few limitations, and we will also discuss why this index is not considered as appropriate or the proper indicators to measure the development, because we have seen that this index is not the proper index to measure the economic development. So there are various limitations. The first limitation is that when national income increases, no doubt, but how the national income is increasing, what is the composition of output, that also matters a lot. Suppose when the national income of a country is increasing, okay, by producing only defense goods, arms and ammunitions, by selling it to the other country, if we are increasing our national income, then do you call it as a development, or do you call it as a welfare is increasing? No. So we can say that composition of output. This composition of output is also one of the important factor. How the national income is increasing. If national income is increasing by only producing defense goods and not producing the necessity goods which is required by the many consumers or maximum people. So in that case we cannot consider this one as a real indicator or true indicator of economic development. Now second thing, if the national income increases, but increase in income, if it goes only in the hands of richer section, suppose say when the per capita income is increasing, and if that per capita increase in per capita income only goes in the hands of richer section, I will give you one example. Suppose say national income of our country is increasing, and those who are industrialists, those who are running different companies, factories, if their income is only increasing, then do you call it as a development? No. Development means we should include the grassroots level. The development, the progress should takes place from the grassroots level. So each and every labor, if their income increases, then we can call it as a development. But when income increases, but if that increase in income only goes in the hands of that richer section, then yes, obviously, no doubt, national income will increase, per capita income will increase, but it will not improve the standard of living of that poor people. The poor will become more poor and the richer will become more richer. So that's why this indicator is not considered as a true indicator of development. So per capita income index is not the true indicator. Now the third limitation, we can say that if national income is increasing, this national income is increasing, no doubt. But if the rate of growth of population, if the population growth is higher, if the rate of growth of population is higher and the rate of growth of national income is lower or less, what I mean to say that if the rate of growth of population is higher than the rate of growth of national income, then in that case the per capita income will not increase, and we cannot consider this as a true indicator of economic development. So in this case also, this is not the true indicator. So here nowadays this index is not used to measure the economic development. Now we will move towards the next index, that is HDI, Human Development Index. Okay, so Human Development Index. This development as a process, Human Development Index is a process, okay, process of widening people choices. So HDI is a process of widening people's choices. Okay, now we can see that the people choices are increasing, okay, expanding. It is not remaining confined on their income, but various types of changes, okay, structural changes, socially, culturally, economically, politically, all the changes are taking place, and the people's choice should increase, the freedom level should increase, okay. But if we make it confined in the terms of income only, then that cannot be considered as a true indicator. So in order to include more number of choices, people's choices, so that widening of people's choices can be considered as a part of that Human Development Index. So in the case of this Human Development Index, we can see that the various changes, okay, various changes, or Human Development Index goes far beyond the income choice as well-being. There are many other choices such as, so not only we should consider income, but some other choices are also there that is also important part for the development of or the well-being of the people. So what are that? Literacy, education, physical environment, political freedom, and the freedom of movement and speech, gender-related development, political, economic participation in decision makings, political power. These choices are also important as income choices. So various choices are there that is also important as income choices. So that should be also included. Okay, that should be also included in the calculating or measuring the economic development. So the process of widening of people choices is actually what? Human development. Now, here we have to study about this construction of HDI. Now, as I said, when the people's choices increases in the terms of social, political, cultural, economic, when there is an improvement in the literacy, when there is an improvement in the health facility, when the participation of the people increases in the terms of decision makings, then we can consider, yes, their concept, the sense is becoming more broader, okay, and the ideas is also becoming more broader. So that is included in HDI, Human Development Index. And now we will consider the construction, okay, construction of HDI. As I said, the choices has been increased. Now in order to calculate this HDI or construction of HDI, we have to consider three basic dimensions. Three basic dimensions are there. Three basic dimensions are there. Number one, we have a long and healthy life, a long and healthy life. Number two, we have to acquire knowledge. And number three, we have standard of living. So these are the three basic dimensions. On the basis of these three dimensions, we can construct this HDI. How we can calculate this HDI? How we can construct that HDI? And what are the things that are included while constructing this HDI? We have to know that. So the three basic dimensions are long and healthy life. long and healthy life. Okay, the three basic choices that need to prepare. Okay, now here a long and healthy life is measured in the terms of life expectancy. Life expectancy to acquire knowledge. To acquire knowledge is measured in the terms of educational attainment. Okay, literacy, or it is measured in the terms of educational attainment. And this standard of living is measured in the terms of GDP. So there are three basic dimensions. We have to know how it is measured. Long and healthy life is measured in the terms of life expectancy, and to acquire knowledge is measured in the terms of educational attainment, and number three, standard of living is measured in the terms of GDP. So when we have long and healthy life means our life expectancy is higher. Okay, similarly, when the literacy rate is improving, we can say that the educational attainment is higher. And next one, we have standard of living. So it is measured in the terms of GDP. When the GDP is the final value of goods and services measured in the terms of money. Whatever the goods and services produced by a normal resident of a country within a domestic territory is called a GDP. So when GDP increases, obviously the standard of living of people will improve. So these three are included in the construction of this HDI. Now I will write the formula. Okay, formula of this HDI, how the HDI is constructed. So you don't have to start in details, only the basic idea we have to know about this construction of HDI. So this, as I said, these three indicators reflecting the three basic choices are used to prepare the basic indices. As I said, number one, life expectancy. Okay, HDI equals to life expectancy index plus we have educational attainment index plus next one we have AZDPI index divided by 3. So how will get HDI? Human Development Index, life expectancy index plus educational attainment index plus AG. This one is adjusted GDP per capita index. Adjusted GDP per capita index. So I will write where LEI equals to life expectancy index, EAI represents educational attainment index, and number 3 we have AZDPI, means adjusted gross domestic product index. When we add these three and divided by 3, LEI plus EAI plus AZDPI divided by 3, we will get the HDI. And HDI is a broader concept of measuring or indicating the development of a country. So with the help of this, and one more thing, when we calculate this, the value of HDI lies between 0 and 1. The value of HDI will lie between 0 and 1. So whoever HDI is 1 means they are in the first position. So if you see the current data, I think Norway's life HDI, Human Development Index, is rank 1. India's ranking is 130 in the terms of this list. Okay, but when we calculate the value of HDI, the value of HDI will lie between 0 and 1. It will be greater than 0 and equal to 1. So that is the minimum and maximum limit or value of this HDI. On the basis of that, we can measure the performance, we can measure the development progress taking place in the country. So here once again, I have forgotten some point to include in HDI. This Human Development Index, this report is prepared by UNDP, United Nations Development Program. United Nation Development Program. So in 1997, this it was actually started in 1990, but this report was prepared in 1997, and this HDI was constructed by two economists. One is Amartya Sen from our country, and the other one is Mehboob Ul Haq from Pakistan. So these two persons has prepared a report and constructed this HDI index, and with the help of index, now we can measure how the country is developing, progressing, okay, where they are lacking. So with the help of this HDI, we can measure the rank, okay, or performance of the country.